It's 1 minute, a couple of people in the loop.
All right. I'll carry on taping. What I'll do, I'll put it on a Blu-ray disc for you because it won't fit on the Blu-ray thing. Have you got Blu-ray? Right, I'll put it on a few ordinary ones then.
So on Windows 7. Windows 7 XP.
Yeah, he's probably on the VID 20s.
Yeah. We're on XP.
Hey, that's right to bear that, I think.
This is in XP, yeah.
A lot of people still reckon XP's the best thing they've ever got.
Well, I've got Windows 7 and Windows 8, and Windows 7 is better.
I don't like Windows 8. It's horrible.
Right, if we don't get going now, we'll still be at 1 o'clock in the morning, so let's get a move on. Everyone's happy, everyone's in.
1 o'clock, really?
Is that your record, Billy?
Well, Billy's on next.
Just to keep you informed, we're on number 43 of 125 slides, so a bit to go yet. So anyway, the reason I took this is because when you buy a tripod, you might as well buy a tripod over there because you're going to need one. One thing I'd say to you, if you're ever going to use a video camera on a trip like this, buy a video camera that you can plug a microphone into and wear on your chest. Because all the videos I've got, you can hear traffic in the background, that's because the camera's over there, a bit like Billy's now, and you're talking to the camera. And every time a truck goes past or sparrow farts, you pick it up rather than you. Your worst enemy is wind, of course. That's all American food, don't worry about that. Yeah, so just a word of warning. Buy a camera that has a remote mic system because otherwise you're struggling. So anyway, great way to dry your clothes is the old air conditioning machine. The other thing I wanted to just mention, just out of my... Oh, turn it around, I broke it. Right, so we've got a laptop, a stills camera, a video camera, a bullet camera. What else have we got? Mobile phone from England. The mobile phone I picked up in America because I wanted to have a local line for the local people to contact me. So that's 7, so 6. So I've got 6 machines, 6 chargers. All this junk you have with you, all these bits of cable you've got to download this to that and that to the other. Do it before you go, sort it out, because one of the best things, Billy's got this six piece English socket thing here. It's worth taking one with you because if you think about it logically, you've got one American adapter, maybe 2 if you're really rich. You've got all these things to charge. So if you take one of those with you, even though it's a bit bulky, they're not particularly heavy, but it means you can put the American socket on the end of that, stick it in the wall, and you've got nice 5 or 6 sockets to play with. Because all your stuff's got English plugs on it. The reason I took that photograph, that's a good one. Because what you do when you get off your bike at night, you take all your crap and all your junk inside the hotel, you strip it all out to find out what's wet, what's for tomorrow, what's for tonight. You end up with a bed full of junk. Most of these bedrooms are going to all these little hotels, $30 or $40 a night. 2 massive king-size beds. So one you sleep in and one you put your crap on. And what I ended up doing after a week was actually, you can see that little red and black, white is a rucksack. That was all my electricals. And what I had was one other bag, which is a soft bag, to put the stuff in I needed for tonight and tomorrow. Everything else, because the Galway's got lockable panniers, I just left it on the bike because you could spend 45 minutes in the morning getting all your stuff together and putting it away. So minimising what you've got and sort of sorting out electrical stuff. One good thing about America is the McDonald's Wi-Fi is very good. Hi, it's 93 degrees. I've never been in 93 degrees in my life, I don't think. I can't remember ever being in 93 degrees. This is the shirt I got from Manchester, I think. It's the only thing I've got that's kind of slightly reflective, and mine is absolutely red hot. I had my hair cut, but I noticed it's very, very warm yesterday. So I called at Walmart this morning to buy some suntan lotion. There's a hairdresser's in there, and decided to have my hair cut. So it's a bit shorter, a bit cooler. But it is so damn hot. I just arrived in, Manchester number 10 was a bit of a disappointment. I expected it to be a Manchester. In actual fact, it's just a stretch of road. There's absolutely nothing there whatsoever. I'm literally talking about a dual carriageway with forest on either side. It says Manchester East. And then there's nothing else for 20 miles. I didn't go that far. I turned around, came back to this gas station just to say hello, and the lad before said hello, welcome to Manchester, but in actual fact there's nothing here. I suppose it's the second smallest one I've been to, the gas station up in Toronto, Canada. The disappointing thing is, it was from the previous Manchester, it's 340 miles to this one, and the next one is over 400 miles away, which is in Tennessee. But before I get there, I'm going to the Dragon's Tail Wheel Cap. That's all there, it's nice. It's going to be a long day today, so you can see I'm a bit warm as it is now. It's only just 12 o'clock now, it's 12 o'clock, and it's 93 degrees at the moment. I've got to keep moving because being off the bike, something wet. Ciao for now, So I started saying that a lot, ciao for now. I don't know where it came from, I do apologise. Another video. I've forgotten what these all are. Oh, this is on the way to the Dragon's Tail. This is beautiful countryside. Decided to do a little bit of traffic dodging, which we'll see in a second. Hello and good morning. I've just taken a walk down from the bike. Hi, good morning. It's Friday. Just on the way now down to the Dragon's Tail. And I have to stop again. There's a bit of noise in the background because right down there, a couple of 100 feet, there's a guy just doing something car park with a tractor. But I did stop because of this. Started off this morning, rain, miserable. I was in Wales all night, thunderstorms, not particularly pleasant. Set out this morning, it was still raining. I went for a bit of fun. And then I found myself going over into a place called Robbinsville, which is the start of the Dragon's Tail Road. You get the views like this, which I wanted to show you. I pulled up, as you can see, up the road there, about 100 yards. And I'm just going to swing round now and show you a nice little view. It's a good job with ground reports, couldn't I?
Well, there's a job going, fresh over.
This is actually a man-made lake. You think that when you first see it, it's actually a proper lake, it's actually a reservoir. Pretty much guessing I've got more to come of this. It's getting nice and warm now, the sun's come out. The old jacket's vents are open, I'll look in a second. And I'm going to look forward to the Dragon. There is actually another road that goes over about, the whole loop is about 120 miles, which unfortunately I won't have time to do today. If I do look over to the southwest from here, the other route is actually in cloud anyway, probably soaking wet. It's a bit of another great road for the area. And then my phone starts to ring, of course, because doesn't that happen? Anyway, more in a second. I'm going to strap the.
Is it Sharon?
No, I think the insurance company for the payment in Manchester ringing. It must be about 20 quid just to receive the call. Anyway, I'm going off to the tail now, the start of the Dragon's Tail. There's a few bikes out this morning already. It's about 10 o'clock now, or 11 o'clock now. Very, very quiet roads down here. I just turned slightly to my right or left. This is a straight bit, and apparently I've got 381 bends in 11 miles to get to in a minute. I've been looking forward to this bit. This is kind of one of the plans that I built into the route, was to do the Dragon's Tail. It's pretty well renowned. So here I go, and hopefully we'll get some nice footage once I've strapped the tripod onto the gubbins to the bike. I think I've sorted out the helmet camera. I'm not sure. I've been to Radio Shack, good old Radio Shack. They've done well out of me this trip. I bought a mobile phone. I bought a dongle for the Virgin internet, and I've just been in and spent under $100 on SD cards and hopefully a charger that will charge the helmet camera. So a bit of luck, I'm going to stop, have a cup of coffee, maybe a bit of something to eat, and then set off once again and do the Dragon's Tail. Old Kawasaki Classic work up to the Dragon. half an hour. I can't cut this because I'm going to try to cut it and make it shorter, it won't. So anyway, the Dragon's Tail, that sign there was actually quite accurate. We talk about hairpin bends, you know a hairpin bend, good back on itself. The Dragon's Tail is actually not hairpins as such, because in a hairpin you tend to be climbing, whereas the Dragon, you're already 3,500, 4,000 foot above sea level. In fact, you stay at the same height and you're just carrying on this road. But as it says there, these bends go on and on. You expect a bend to stop at some point, and these literally do that. They're almost coming back on yourself. So rather than build a bridge and a bit of stonework, they tend to just carry on following the contour. So you do hit bends that you think, you get halfway around and think this should now be straightened up a little bit, and you don't. You just keep going, and then straight into another one going the opposite way. It's fun. And if you ever, people want to go and do Route 66, let's face it, it's an iconic road. If you want to go and do proper biking roads, the East Coast and the Appalachian Mountains, and there's a thing called the Parkway, which does nearly 500 miles on that kind of road. And then you go to the Dragon's Tail, then you go to the Sky Road. You don't need to go any further than that. So you can fly into Florida and go north, you can fly into Washington, go south on a hired bike, and you can have a time of your life like that there. Everything's catered for bikers. You get to Deals Gap. Deals Gap Resort, this chap, whoever owns this place, has got a good idea. It's got a couple of bunk houses there. It's got a shop and you get all your badges and your t-shirts and everything else for the Gap. A bit confused on the actual truck route itself. It's 11 miles long. It's got 318 bends. Now, they call them curves, they don't call them bends. It's kind of not straight. The little bits are straight about as long as this room. Right at the end of the presentation, if we get that far tonight, I've got a little video that I took actually on the bike. It's one of those things that it's like a tick off. You've got to tick it off if you're American. Funnily enough, I was in LA by later on and I come across an English voice in the background, and there was another chap. Sorry, do apologise. Yeah, so the Dragon's Tail and the various other what's around there are worth going to do. So I think we've got a bit of video on the next one. Well, that's another typical typical road sign. Oh, there we go. On the 129, it's called the US 129, there is a professional camera team that sit on two of the bends, and they take photographs with a very good camera, big monster lens on it. In the evening of that day, you can go online and you can find yourself going around the Dragon's Tail. They'll take photographs and they'll put them all online for you, and then you can pay for, I think they're $1 each to download it as an electronic download. You've got a proper photograph, you can make the money that way. This is me following an old Beamer. Nice photographs, $1 each, crikey. Very, very high res, you don't see them too well on here, but yeah, nice little thing. A little bit more, you're between Tennessee and Kentucky basically. You see the map, so I came in from this end, that end, and then come all the way down, right to the very bottom where the big lake is. And this next video is actually me leaving kind of the bottom of the lake, and then sort of an inch up that map there's a lay-by which I've passed on the way down. Just gives you an idea of the actual intensity of the thing. Notice there's no curves and no barriers, and lots of big 1,000-foot drops into the valley. You also notice a lot of wet patches under the almost every bend. It's wet, it's raining this morning, a little bit airy. And you're not supposed to cross the yellow line, of course. There's a 50 mile an hour speed limit. On a wet Wednesday morning, there's not a lot of police out there. That's one of the corners that catches you. Every time you come to a bend, there's this bloody wet bit. It's really annoying. People do go off this regularly, at least 2 or 3 people a year get killed. As you see on the side there, there's nothing stop me going on the edge. Give me a second, it's only a few more seconds. And it's finished. I can't even do it. That's it, 11 miles basically. You never get a chance to relax for a second. Down into the lay-by. There was on the other side of the road, there was a set of two-stroke Kawasaki's.
KH, I think.
Sorry, what was your question then?
No, we're just saying, do they leave flowers and crosses at the side?
No, not much of that. What is quite weird is that when I was going down the other way, because I came from the direction originally, there was quite a sharp left-hander, and there was a tyre mark right to the edge. And I'm thinking that tyre mark, and I passed it, you pass it in a second. I'm thinking, now was that today? Or in the last 5 minutes?
Somebody's still down
You reckon somebody's down there because the actual tyre skid mark lasted till the edge.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, could be a front tyre, could be a back tyre. But just for that moment, in fact, I went down to the bottom of there and I could have carried on because that was basically my day when the Dragon finished. I decided to go back to the lay-by because there's lots of people there to talk to, you know.
Was there a speed limit?
Sorry?
A speed limit?
50 mile an hour. I reckon if you average 50 mile an hour, it's fast enough on there. Yeah, and if you go onto YouTube and put Dragon's Tail or Tail of the Dragon, there's in fact if you put yellow Honda Goldwing Dragon's Tail, yeah, there's a cracking video of it.
Scratching down there.
Oh, gee, you know, I mean, yeah. I mean, I followed the guy down. When I finished there, I had to go back down to the bottom again. And this guy came past with it, and he made me look small. He was pretty big, you know, he's like, see his ass over the side of the panniers, you know, with his wife on the back. So he's already down on the floor, and I couldn't keep up with him. So it was a bit of a, he had a very good one, he'd done it a few times before, you know.
There was a bike found, it was there for 2 years.
I can believe it, yeah, I can honestly believe it.
Rider was killed 2 years earlier.
Technically, it's actually okay, because there's alpine routes that are much more technical than that. You know, you can do it, it's just the fact that you see the fact there's no curve, and over the edge of there, it's literally dropping down any amount you want to talk about, you know. And I say the best time to do it is early in the morning when there's nobody out. So I'm trying to speed up a little bit now. So kind of where the arrow is more or less where the Dragon's Tail is, and let's say the parkway starts roughly. Well, it says Buffalo. No, not as low as that. Where Philadelphia is, you can see where J is. So the parkway comes down from about there and actually passes L. And just carries on. So that, again, 50 mile an hour, but it's enough. You know, the countryside's stunning. Anyway, the big plan, the reason for the red circle, the big plan once I got to this area was to then turn north. All these letters are Manchesters, and go back up to Michigan, and then back down again. But the circular bit and more or less all that area was under 6 inches of water and hurricanes and buildings being thrown around. And so the company back in England and Sharon decided I shouldn't go there because it's politically incorrect to go into that area when there's all this shit going on. Excuse my French. So I decided to carry on south and do the Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee bits and pieces. I went to a place called
Manchester.
I went to a place called Manchester in Kentucky, and this guy told me about the American version of Niagara Falls. So I thought that sounds interesting. He said, if you're lucky and you go at night, you'll see a moonbow. Well, the rainbows, what the bloody hell's a moonbow? So apparently, about once a year, the moon's right above this place, and if it's a clear night, the mist off the waterfall will actually give you a blue-toned rainbow. Pretty rare. Anyway, it was the middle of the afternoon when I went, so I didn't see it. But the point was, I had to go see this, you know, America's version of Niagara Falls. It wasn't that good, it was okay. Certainly not a patch on Niagara Falls. When I came back, the sat-nav sent me the wrong way, ended up going back the way I'd come. As it happens, I'd seen one of these, what I call a poolside motel, where all the rooms face out to the pool. And as I passed it, going towards this place, I thought, well, that looks nice. Hope I find one like that later. Anyway, it turns out I ended up back there because I'd gone the wrong way. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What I don't know at this point in time, it's a holiday weekend in that area. So I pulled into the reception and I walk into what looks like somebody's living room. There's a bloke over there on the settee watching football with his back to me. Receptionist lady comes out and I said, "Have any chance of a room tonight?" She went, "I've got no chance around here. You'll have to go 100 miles south to get, to get a room in this area at this time, this weekend." So this guy called Johnny kind of turned around and goes, "You English?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "You're not sending him away from here. It's Friday night and it's this and it's that, you know. So no chance of getting a room around here." He said, "You can have a couch." Settee next to where he's watching the TV. This guy doesn't own the place, he just happens to be there. He's a contractor working there for a month. Anyway, within a 15-minute period, Johnny's given up his room. He's moved in with one of his contractor mates who's got 2 beds in his room. He's cleared all his stuff out. He's given me beer. He's got his own little fridge in his room with his own beer in it. Fax machine in the corner, this, that and the other, computer. So I spent the night in his room for nothing. Got fed and watered, nice barbecue. They've decided I'll stop in the weekend. And we sat around the pool drinking beer till 3 o'clock in the morning chatting. So the following day, somebody left, so there's a room free. So I got my room, which I'd never paid for again. The lady of the house decided I was going to get. And then what I didn't know at this moment in time on the Friday night was actually this town. It was a dry town, so there was no beer available. But every guy out there has got a pickup truck, and on the back of the pickup truck is a cool box the size of these 2 tables. So what they do is they drive 40 miles down the road to the next state, next county, I should say, fill beers, and then we come back. It's all Miller Lite, which is, you might as well throw half of it down the toilet because that's where it's going. There's no alcohol in it. But they sit there and they'll just drink 17 or 18 of these bloody things on a Friday night, and then Saturday they'll go back to the off licence, wherever it is, and go another load. So I spent the weekend there, had a really good time. The guys, this is Johnny too, Liberace lookalike. His mate Jeff, who said he was a Red Indian. I'm pretty sure he was a Mexican. He just wanted to be an Indian. And they looked after me for the weekend. It was a really nice break from the days on the road. Considering that I had no days off the road until then. I've been on the road for 2.5 weeks. Not had a single day off the bike. Then it was quite a nice respite just to be able to sit down and do nothing for 24, 48 hours. So young Jeff spoke to Sharon on Skype, and she was very fascinated with the fact he kept going, "Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am," and really good lads. Why I thought he was a Mexican, he wasn't very big. And I do apologise for my state of business. Yeah, that was outside the hotel. So anyway, carried on south. Well, I went to a market on the Saturday, and that's a baby raccoon.
You didn't buy it.
No, I didn't buy it. Now then, you walk into a gas station and you put your petrol in, you have to go in and tell them what you want first. I'm $20. You put your $20 over the counter, you go back to the pump, turn it on, you put your $20 in, go back in. When I went in with $20, I thought, that was like Peter Kay. What? Geraldine's moved to the States. And I actually said to this girl, this is a girl, I said to her, "Bloody hell," I said, "you've got a twin, you, in England." I didn't tell her there's a bloke dressed as a woman. I said, "Would you mind if I take your photograph?" She went, "No, not at all." That was the result. I'm convinced it was him. Anyway, you're going down the road there and you see a sign. There's some places I ended up at that I didn't realise I was going to be passing. There's another one a bit further along, but this is the first one I came across, which was Lynchburg, Tennessee, the home of Jack Daniels. Yay! So you go into this is the old petrol station. What they've done is they've got this little town square that they've kept original, and the rest of the town's just normal, and then next door's the distillery. So you can park up in the old car park there, and you can have a game of chess with an old timer. Took me bloody hours out there. I won. Anyway, you park in this little area. I walk into the first shop I come to get a nice cold beer. "Sorry, sir, this is a dry town."
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels is next door. "Yes, sir, you can go and do the tour, and they will allow you to buy a bottle of Jack Daniels when you get to the end, but you're not allowed to drink it." Of all places. For that. It's bloody hot in the south. This was before lunch. 115 degrees Fahrenheit. It went up to 118 that day.
What's that in England?
That's hot. That's Earl Grey.
It's so great.
how would you explain it? I mean, a pair of shorts, you don't want to be wearing no clothes, but I've got my biker boots on, they're sexy. Got your shorts you've got on there with your camouflage, I've got a pair of them on, and I've got a t-shirt that's oh, I had to buy one of those base layers, the things that's supposed to make you sweat. Yeah, wicked thing. And it's silver, and it worked perfect. I couldn't believe it. I never had one before. Went into Walmart, picked this thing up, took it back because it was too small. Getting changed in the car park, me, it's not a good sight. Took it back, got a bigger one. And I actually put it on, and I thought, geez, I can't wear this, I'm like Mitchell and them. So I put a t-shirt over the top of it, but I was shocked how good it was. Instantly, I feel cooler. I've covered my arms up, because if you get this from the t-shirt, from there to there, of course all my t-shirts are black. So I'm roasting my taters off apart from the orange one. Too hot to wear gloves, really. I've got them on anyway. So that little bit there is getting browner and browner, and hotter and hotter, it's making you hot. So the old silver suit on, the silver shirt on, t-shirt over the top, instantly better. But 118 degrees on a motorbike is no fun at all. You've got to have your visor down because it's just too bloody hot. I wear contact lenses. I've got enough issues in the eyes drying, without 118 degrees blowing me in the face, So it was, and I got stopped in a traffic jam, my first traffic jam for 3.5, 4 weeks. Some trucker fell over, and I ended up stood at the side of the road, at the middle of the road, on the bike, turned the engine off, just sat there like this, thinking, got me camelback thing, which was actually stuffed behind me rather than in a rucksack. Took one sip and I literally could have put a tea bag in it. And then next to me here is this big 44 truck with blacked out windows, a bit like Men in Black arrived, Window goes down, he goes, "Hey buddy!" Middle light. He said, "Dude, that'll do for that." I said, "Another 5 minutes in this, and I'm getting in there with you." That's when he's got his air card, And all the windows open, the bloody thing was full of blokes. So so you get your stop at a set of lights, and some bloke will put the window down and say, "You from England?" "Yeah." My auntie lives in Nottingham, do you know her? She's got babies. That's waiting for that question.
My mother told me this is when you get too far down in here, you run into a bunch of bona fide hillbillies, meth labs everywhere, and my mother didn't want you down here by yourself, so she sent me out. Mothers and sons that have children together down in here and all kinds of stuff.
2 months ago. I think that's fair enough. Thanks very much, I'm right behind you. Oh, okay, cheers. Well, there's the sign. That's as much as you're going to get out of this one. Who's seen Deliverance in America that you don't hear about too much, or only in myth, but it's actually true, it does happen. So I'm getting out of here. Thanks, bye for now. 45.5 seconds after I did that and put my camera away, a pickup truck came down that track. What you don't see there is where I'm stood, the road goes that into this forest. It's just rough as hell. So I can't go down there anyway. So I saw the sign. So I got my camera out, got my tripod out, got my sandwich out that I got in town earlier on. This young lad in the car had gone into a bank to ask directions where Manchester was because it wasn't on the map or the sat nav. And the old bank manager looked like Boss Hogg off Exit Duke and all that kind of stuff. He kind of got this lad and said, "Right, your mama lives up there somewhere, go and take this lad to this such and such a junction and show him where Manchester is." So what he'd done is he'd actually taken me to a certain point and he turned off to the right to go and see his mum. And he said it's down there apparently, and then put it off. So that, 15 minutes later he comes screaming down this road at 100 miles an hour, won't get out of his car. Window goes down, he goes, "My mama said you've got to get the hell out of here," And he was a bit worried, he said it's dangerous down here, Anyway, I did this. He literally, while I was talking to the camera there, he spun around and got off again, left me. So all I've got to do is put my stuff back on the bike and go. Anyway, as I'm literally riding away, this pickup truck goes on the way, and it's got the hillbillies in it, and I'm talking about caps on backwards, no teeth, blank looks on the faces, bullet holes in the windscreen, and imagine a pickup truck. The back of a pickup truck has got this kind of bodywork like this with the arch in it. Everything from there down is gone, rusted. It's got the guns on the rack in the back, and it's like, Jesus Christ! If another 2 minutes, and they'd have been stopping saying, "You've got a pretty mouth." So that was a nice one, Yeah. I took this off my blog, just as a thing. Seems like a long day, all rolled into one. 19 days ago, I set out from Boston and had to date ridden to Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, all in the rain. Then Toronto, Pennsylvania, Maryland, through Virginia to North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. So actually 2 Manchesters in Alabama. Georgia and back north, managing Alabama to Kentucky via Tennessee in just 1 day. Today I visited Manchester, Indiana, a very pleasant town nestled in what seemed like the countryside of Cheshire. Now I am just 12 miles from Manchester and was 16 in Ohio. So these towns are becoming just another place to aim for. I get on the bike in the morning, get the old-fashioned sat-nav where you have to go to A, B, C, D, blah, 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 blah. Put Manchester, TN, OH is for Ohio, and then see how far it was. It didn't matter anymore because as I got further west, we're talking about, at the moment, we're talking about 256 miles between Manchesters, 362, 211, 162, 250. These are just days' rides now. 300 or 400 miles a day seemed normal by the time I got 19 days in. When you get over to the west, you're looking at 505, 832. You know, they're now, because again, let's go back to history, they're spreading themselves out a little bit thinner. And of course, the Manchesters and both the Manchester and the people are getting thinner and thinner as they go west, you know. So, as you can see here, I'm ignoring everything in Mississippi and going to the west, and I'm heading back north again now with 2 or 3 Manchesters to get up to Michigan. You've heard about GoPro? This is no go. That's how I did the video on the dragon's tail. Bit of gaffer tape, a couple of bungee sticks, and the tripod strapped to the back of the bike. It worked perfectly. It's a nice little camera, you know, a 9-inch camera. Go north, young man. What are about the straight roads in America? 34 miles in a straight line, and then a 5-degree bend, and then 42 miles in a straight line.
I bet you missed the bend and drove straight off it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go through the bend in the road, as the pub is called, a bit later when I get there. Manchester, Ohio, I don't need to talk about that. Going north a bit now, I got invited again off Facebook by a guy called John Stedman, who's a bit of a bike nut. He had about 15 bikes in his garage. Come and stay with us for the night. You know, you've got a bed and blah, blah, blah. What I didn't know was when we went out for a meal, I was paying. The guy was out of work and a bit broke and blah, blah. You know, you can see his house. I stayed in the little slot at the top there, in the roof, for a night. Lovely couple, you know, great couple, very, very friendly. Manchester in Michigan is one of the nicest places I went to. They have something called the broil every year, where the whole county comes together in a big field and they basically cook chicken for everybody. And I think the last year it was 300,000 chickens were cooked in a day. It's like a production line of chicken. Yeah, probably, yeah. Well, I say I stopped with John, his missus and his dog. A bit strange, the house, it was very attentive. Their bedroom was the right hand side, the middle bit is kind of a lounge, the bathroom and the kitchen at the back, you know. But like I said, lovely couple. Next day, on the Saturday morning, they were filling sand pits for the community. There's a bit of one guy, this Manchester men's club has got a sand pit, you know, like an old quarry. And they go around at this time of the year and they fill all the kiddies' sand pits with nice clean sand. So that's, I volunteered, you know, as you do. The Michigan Raceway. John took me to the Michigan Raceway for a bit of a ride out, which is one of these circuit oval things, very quick thing. I need to get there, but if you look at the bottom of that big tower there, yeah, right at the very bottom there, you can just about pick out the people. The other photograph is that cage at the top of that thing with 2 blokes in it. I don't know how high that blue cherry picture was, but I don't want to go up there. It must have been 200 foot high. Yeah. That's a day's work, that changing the light bulbs in that thing, isn't it? Anyway, I was more fascinated with that as I was with the cars going around. Another girl, going back to in the early days of my website and my Facebook, I got an invite 2 years before I even went to America from a young lady that was a rock singer. She did Sturgis every year, a lot of the biker events. A girl called Missy Colville. She said to me, when you eventually get to America, I live close by to Manchester in Michigan, you can come and stop in my Winnebago. Oh no, sorry, my tour bus was the exact phrase she used. So I'm thinking monster great 40-foot Winnebago with aircon and, you know, big king size bed and blah blah blah. That's Missy. And just a quick video of Missy. I did promise if I ever did a presentation, I'd show a bit of video. So this is one of her. Missy got breast cancer and she ended up doing 17,000 miles in a couple of weeks. It's a promotional video.
My name is Missy Coville, and I'm going to be an Iron Cowgirl. Life inspires me musically, and it definitely is a big influence on what I write, because I write about life, and I write about being out on the open road. My motorcycle is very important to me. Because, you know, you hit the open road and it just clears your mind. There isn't anything else there but you and the open road and your bike. I need to tell you, there's so much dedication in keeping the band together. And the guys that I have are truly amazing, and they have that goal of chasing their dreams because they share that goal with me, and that's what it takes, is for everyone to have the same goals and dreams to make it, and we inspire each other, and that's very important, to be around people who are positive.